Hello, what is up YouTube? It's Ismael Rodriguez here bringing you another beginner Python tutorial video. This time we're going to be talking about lists. And yeah, this video is going to be relatively short, so for those of y'all that only watch like 2 minutes of my videos, this is going to be a video for you. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So what is a list? So a list is basically just a list. It's just imagine it like a shopping list, you know, like the old people used to do it. You know how our ancestors used to go to the store and buy stuff? They'd get a piece of paper, they'd title it shopping list, and then they'd put bullet points or numbers such as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they'd put what they want. So maybe they want apples, oranges, cauliflower, deodorant, you know, and that's all in a single piece of paper. And Python has something that's similar to that. So if you want to make a list, you like always got to give it a name. So we're going to call this my list, and then you have to put the equal sign, and this is the part that is actually important. This is what actually defines a list. So if you want to make a list, you got to use the square brackets, and then inside these square brackets you put whatever you basically want. So we're going to go off the example of the shopping list, and we said that we wanted apples, and now if we wanted to add something else, we'd put a comma, and then we put the next thing, and then we put oranges. Forget what else we wanted, but I think I said cauliflower, right? How do you spell cauliflower? Close enough for me. And yeah, you just made your list, and if you run it, Python says nothing's wrong with it. And then if you print it, you can actually see what's inside of your list. And right here we see that we have apples, oranges, and cauliflower. Pretty cool, huh? But lists aren't limited to just words or strings as we just did, and you can actually make lists out of numbers. For our example, let's say you want to make a list of all your grades. So all your past grades, because you want to see how much of a failure you are, and you're trying to convince yourself to drop out of school. So let's say your grades were 69. Such a bad joke. I keep using it. You had 50, you ended up getting a 20 on your addition test, and you also got a 0 on your subtraction test because you forgot to put your name on your paper. Okay, so now we want to print it, make sure we can see everything we just put, and if you run it, you get right here, you get your 69, your 50, your 20, your 0, and yeah, get those grades better. I know this seems pretty simple, but now we're going to get into something even harder. So what you can also do with lists is that you can make them contain numbers and words. So if we were to combine our list that we just did, such as we had apples in it, we had 69 in it, can't forget that number, we had oranges, a 0 on your subtraction exam because you forgot to put your name on it, and yeah, now you want to see if this is actually valid, so you print it out, run the program, and you get right here apples, 69, oranges, and 0. And as you can see right here, we just mixed two different types of stuff. We mixed strings and numbers together, and we put them in a list. Now let's say you took another exam, and this time in that exam you actually got another 0 because you're dumb as crap and you didn't study and you were trying to catch up on one piece. So if we wanted to add that to our list, instead of just redoing our list, we could just do this: my list dot append, and then you put your grade. And this time, as we said, you got a 0. So what this does is that append means it's going to add whatever we just put in here to the end of our list. And then if you want to make sure it's actually working, and I'm not telling a bunch of lies to you, run the program. And right here, you see down here, you get apples, 69 oranges, and you get 2 zeros because you're really good at math. And right there, we just added another item, 0, to our list. And let's say you want to add something else. Maybe like, what's something that people like? A grapefruit. People like grapefruits. We want to add a grapefruit to our list, and we just use append again, and we put grape fruit. Then we print. We print our list, and then we run the program. And if you look down here, we get apples, 69 oranges, 0, 0, and grapefruit, which is what we just added to our list. Pretty simple. Now if we wanted to remove things from our list, let's say that you're going to show your list to your parents and you don't want to show them that you got 2 zeros in your math exam. Well, if you want to remove that 0, you can what can you do? Okay, so if you want to remove that 0 from your list, you can just use this very simple thing called remove. So you put in mylist.remove, and you put in what you want to remove. In this case, we want to remove the 0, but we have 2 zeros in there, so we want to remove both of the zeros. So we got to do it again. And now we print my list. And let me clear the terminal. Now if you run the program again, you see that those 2 zeros are gone from our list. Wow. Okay, so now that we know how to add or remove stuff, how do we actually access things that are inside of our list? You know, we can add and delete, but how do we actually use what's inside of it? So if you actually want to use the stuff that's inside of it, if you want to access it, well, it's actually quite simple. Each of our items inside of our list, apples, 69, oranges, and 0, they're all in a position. As you can see, apples is first, 69 is second, oranges is third, and 0 is fourth. And if you wanted to access them, you just pretty much say, you tell your list you want to access whatever thing is at the position that you specify. And the way to actually do that is that you use the square brackets. So you do my list, you put the square brackets, and then you put the position at which the thing you want is at. So in this case, we're just gonna put the number 1, and we're gonna see what we get. And we're also gonna print it, so we see in the terminal what we got. So as you can see, we got 69. And you might be wondering, hey, isn't apples in the first position? And yes, it is indeed in the first position, but Python sees it as position 0. And then 69 is position 1, and orange is position 2, and 0 is position 3. That is why when we told Python, give me whatever is in position 1, we got 69 instead of apples. Now, if we actually wanted to get apples, the first thing on our list, we just put 0, run the program, and now we got apples. Not too hard. Now, if you wanted to access the value 0, then you got to put in the correct position it's at. And remember, we count from 0, so this is 0, 69 is 1, oranges is 2, and 0 is 3. So if we want to access 0, we put my list, square brackets, 3. Now we run the program, and we get 0. Okay, so now we're going to see how we can use loops with our list. But before we get into that, we have a quick message from our sponsor, which is MO Design. And MO Design, if you don't know, is a graphic design company, and it's actually a direct supporter of this channel, which thank you, MO Designs. Okay, so as we just saw, if we want to access things from a list, we got to put the square brackets and then the position that it's in. Okay, but what if we actually wanted to access everything? So I guess if you wanted to access everything, you could just do my list and just do 0 and then copy and paste this line. Oh. And then you can run the program, and then you access everything. You got the 0, the apples, the 69, and the oranges. What if you had a list that had 100 items? Well, you can use a for loop. So one of the nice things about for loops, at least in Python, is that you can very simply write a loop that will go through all the elements in your list. And if you wanted to do that, you just do for, and you put your variable name. We're going to say stuff in my list. Then you put your colon, and then you can just do print stuff. Let's clear the terminal because it's getting very crowded in there. You get apples, 69, oranges, and your 0, all in this 2 lines of code for stuff in my list. And then you just print stuff. So what Python is doing here is it says that stuff, hello, it's me from the future, trying to make this part a lot more easier to understand. So how the for loop actually helps us out by accessing all the things in the list is that it allows us to do list square bracket 0, list square bracket 1, list square bracket 2, and list square bracket 3 without actually having to type all that stuff out. Instead, with the for loop, it does that pretty much automatically. And it does that with the variable name. In this case, we used for stuff. So stuff is the variable name. It uses stuff and it actually makes stuff equal to list 0 in the beginning. And then when the for loop does that and runs the code inside of it, it then makes stuff equal to list 1. And then it goes through the code that's inside of it, it loops back to the top, and it says, okay, now stuff is equal to list 2. And it does that again, and now it says, okay, stuff is now equal to list 3. And that is why when we put print stuff, it ends up showing us apples, 69, oranges, and 0, because the for loop automatically ends up going through the whole entire list. Yeah, so this is actually the end of this video, and it's also the end of this beginner Python tutorial series. Very sad, very sad. Actually, I'm kind of happy that it's kind of done, just because I can finally move on to other stuff, such as building my 3D printer that I recently bought. Yeah, so expect a video about that real soon. Yeah, if you enjoyed this series, make sure to give this video a like. Maybe check out all the other videos in this playlist. There's actually a playlist if you want to check out all the other videos in the series. Yeah, here's to finishing an actual thing on YouTube, a series on YouTube, and here's to making some more videos in the future. Cheers. Yeah, remember to comment, like, and subscribe. We're actually trying to get to 23 subscribers, you know. It's not a big amount of subscribers or anything, but it's kind of a big amount for me. Cheers.